script that you think we were trying to write. We go to G2's map of Oregon. They're looking for another world championship. They're looking for another hammer. They could be 7 rounds away. Yeah. W7M, they've never been here before.
They haven't.
It's been a tough year for them, failing to meet the expectations that were thrust upon their shoulders by an entire region. But they're a scrappy team. They've looked so dominant, and now they face their biggest test yet on the biggest stage of them all. Operator bands are in, Nick. We are ready for these teams to go to war.
Oh boy. Yeah, Ying, Capital, the execution starters on the attacking side, of course, both impacting that base and bomb side very heavily. Mira being removed from play after being activated on Cafe. Don't want to see that again. And Asami, that big question mark in the first 2 maps of Bank and Clubhouse, or rather Clubhouse and Bank, also taken out of action. Both teams now target banning. It's all about this particular matchup, the prep work showing, and of course, what we have learned from watching those previous maps. G2 is definitely, at this tournament at least, a momentum-based team. Once they start finding 2-3 rounds in a row, it almost always ends up with them just taking the following 5 or 6 and just ending it right then and there. Now, since the last time these two teams played back in group stage, a lot has happened. G2, with that lower bracket run, have played 19 maps and 8 best of 3s since then, whereas W7M, they played 15 maps, which is the same as 5 best of 3s. So both these two teams have learned so much since the previous time, and that was 1 round between them on Theme Park. It's an 8-7 victory in that 3rd map going to W7M, but it could have gone either way. Watching what we just saw on Bank, and then watching what we just saw on Cafe, it looks like G2 have learned a little bit more from all the games they've played so far. Ooh, Benja.
Ooh, Benja's looking for the opening pick. Monty confronting Volps. It will scare him down those back tower stairs as the first bit of contact between these two teams occurs. We'll get into map stats in just a bit. Let's spend the first minute going over this discovery phase that G2 are in the thick of.
Yeah, it's a nice and easy one so far. No roaming presence from the defending team of W7M. They're all playing downstairs in that bomb site, just poking their heads up on the staircases, killing only 2 drones so far. And with Alama on the Muncie as well, you're always going to have an infinite amount of information to gather as long as that Muncie stays alive. He's downstairs in Freezer, and he's gonna say, there's no one really here. They're all playing in the hallway on bottom laundry. That's where that warden behind that Plugable Shield is going to be playing at. And there are some pain points for G2 to have to push past. They have grenades, 2 left in pocket. This deployable shield inside of laundry has to be eliminated. It's going to stop them from pushing Freezer unless they use their smoke grenades.
There's that first smoke to go in over towards that fateful bend in Freezer. Give pause to G2's advance. JV inside of that small closet waiting ever so patiently. Execute gonna happen any moment now. W7M, they prepared for it. Benja wanted some skin. Over towards Blue, he gets it. Tears strips out of Herds. Now it's Blur's turn to lose some HP. The smoke of KZ. Well, it's pushing this Monty into a bad spot. Ooh. They try to get him into the corner. Doki's down. Look at KZ. Great patience. W7M formidable on this very first round. They've shut G2 out of the bomb site. That's the strong start they need.
I love that. 0 hesitation. Toss out the Toxic Babe to deny G2 to trade and say, you know what? There's a Monty in this corner. Somebody knife his shield. I got the Pumby ready. Just tears off his leg and takes down the Monty. That's Alama off the board. That's the entire push from G2 and denied on that Freezer push. It looks easy, but that's Oregon basement defense. It is the easiest bomb site to defend. It only really gets more difficult from there on out. Upstairs, second priority for most teams, and then if you win that, you're talking tertiary bomb site. That meeting kitchen or kitchen dining very low win rate for most teams at the event because, you know, Tertiary, it's the last place you want to be because it's the least defendable. Beautiful trade there from Volps as well, just immediately reading that position. And Benja not allowed any entry to the bomb site whatsoever.
Let's go through the stats, shall we?
Statistics, the numbers.
Oregon is one of the most defender-sided maps in the entire map pool, despite being the third least played map in the entire map pool. It is a distinction of 2 of the most defender-sided bomb sites. Laundry Supply down below, the most played site on Oregon. Every 10 plays, 7 rounds for the defenders. That's crazy. 70% of rounds won by the defense. Kitchen Dining, smaller sample size, only played 14 times, so not a ton. But it also breaks for the defense by about the same. 71% of those rounds won by the defenders. So if you're on defense, if you're W7M and you are not walking away with this first half 4-2, you are in serious trouble based on the way that this map is played. Obviously, operator bans change that, teams change that. But that's just 2 generic teams going head-to-head on Oregon. Yeah. You expect a 4-2 side for the defenders.
Opening kill is very important on Oregon because that how linear the map is. Having the man advantage really is important.
Oh, that's not the start G2 needs. Benja's been so hot. Not only is he the all-time kill record for the Six Invitational, but he's closing in on Nesk's record for the most kills in a single match, or the most kills at SI in a series, and in the overall LAN record as well that's held by Cyber. He could do both of those things and deny W7M a world championship.
That's a lot.
Be the enemy of Brazil were that to happen.
Absolutely. In multiple ways, and G2 still looking for an opening.
Oh. Blur will creep up.
I don't think he knows.
A bomb has been
He doesn't.
Oh,
down the corner, they get 2. G2 have reduced it just to JV92. Ali Mao is bleeding out though. Blur with diffuser going down. JV rushing in to see if he can collect a kill. Won't be able to do it. Can't stop Blur either, but he can dash across the map as much as he wants. He's not getting into the bomb site. G2 with full control. They tie it up.
We spoke early on about what's important in this matchup. Well, it's adaptation. Let's go back to the first 2 matches of Clubhouse and Bank. G2 struggling in the mid-round when things weren't going their way. Now, map number 4 of Oregon, they lose the opening kill. They gain no map control. Things are looking kind of grim, but they are very effective in the mid-round, getting back into it, finding these kills, and individual members of Blur, for example, just walking in, taking that 50-50 gunfight and winning it on all fronts for G2. That's Oregon for you. If you lose a few gunfights, you lose the bomb site.
Especially that top floor bomb site, Nick. How many times do we need to see teams at a disadvantage still hold true if a hard breacher is dead? Because most of those walls are impregnable. You can't shoot through them, you can't get through them, can't dash through them, can't blow through them, nothing. You just have to take straight gunfights through doors and whatever openings have been created by you or your opponents. And that's about it. We're gonna see how W7M hold that same part of the map, but for a different bomb site now. They don't want to go back up to dorms. It remains locked. Instead, they go downstairs.
Yeah, that tertiary bomb site. This is where the defenders, they gotta get on the offensive and they try it, but Elmar reads it, Benja as well.
W7M not in the shape that they want to be here. That is a terrible start, and that's your 2 best players on W7M.
We said it, once the front line dies with W7M, things kind of fall apart. The back line not really hitting their shots and winning their gunfights. They have to this round in 3 versus 5. You cannot play this out normally. You have to just try and fight back and get these kills. 5v3 should not be winnable.
Oh, finally W7M showing that they have a pulse in this round. Not the operator, but instead, we're talking about simply being alive. Doki gone. We still got that 1-2 punch of Benja as the second punch if need be. It's more dire for W7M losing those 2 players, but both of these teams should have enough depth. It just puts W7M in a really tricky spot. All of this happened so early because they were spawn peaks That G2 have 2 minutes to assess where do we go? Where do we want to engage from?
Oh.
A lot of damage done to JV92. There's explosions. Virtue bursts in. Now it's Julio taking his lumps. W7M have next to no HP combined. Diffuser goes down, and now it's a post plant, but it's a very different scene. W7M are all a single bullet away from death. G2 surely must know this.
Oh my god.
Nade goes up, but Volps is a little bit too slow for G2. There goes JV. Volp shooting away. G2's just making this lockout look easy. Benja in particular, he's coming for that record. They're coming for the hammer.
Momentum. G2 has found 2 in a row, 2 plants. Got one of the 2 opening kills. And once they get that advantage, they are not letting go. And risk assessment, right? We always talk about how important it is at the biggest event, at the biggest stage, the most to win and lose. You still have to go for crazy plays. W7M trying to set the pace themselves by going for spawn peaks, but immediately punished by G2. Adaptation, adaptation, adaptation. You can't do that again. It's red, it's looked into by G2, they expect it, but you also can't play passive. You need to render too much up for free. It's once again G2 playing in a gray zone. It's very awkward to fight against as any team, and it's why G2 are finding so much success as this event. You started them, you go, we can try and punish them here. Doesn't work. You try something else, doesn't work either. You're left up with just going, I guess we'll just have to win gunfights every single round without any real plan in motion. You can't do that either. So W7M, the only real thing they can do now is wake up. Find these kills, play together, get those 2 versus 1s, punish G2's aggression, otherwise they will run over them.
What do we expect from G2 on this map? Well, let's look at some of the numbers, shall we? G2 enters on a 5-game win streak. 3 of the times they played were in stage 2, 2 of them matches at SI, right here, right now. But W7M, this is their most played map in stage 3. They're undefeated on Oregon as well, so far at SI. So that's good for both these teams. Whose streak ends? Yeah. First pick of this round goes to W7M. After they set off some fire, it's forced Ali Mao to give up his hold in blue.
It's a nice shot from JV, finds the head. Stokey on the Nomad, off the board. Bench still alive though, behind Alamau as well.
There's a down, Ali Mao will creep up. Can they secure Volps? Shot through the wall, but they weren't expecting the follow-up from W7M. They jump on it, it's a 3v2. Julio almost losing his HP, and all of it to Benja. Now it's none other than Blur to sprint on in, get them both, leaving herds at JV. There's one from JV. Suddenly Benja will need to clutch. New player, but he can't get it done. W7M keeping this close.
Greed from Alamau, going for the ADS for the finish instead of just letting him bleed out. Or go for the hip fire, it gets punished, and that's what I'm talking about. W7M, when they get the 1 versus 2s and have some sort of way in the gunfights that favors them, they can start picking up kills. It's a good situation for them to be in, but that was created by a mistake from Alamau, more than a great play from them. They have to engage and find those openings for them. They cannot be expecting G2 to make mistake after mistake. Benji 1v2 couldn't close it out. It's tied up once again, 2 for 2. So that bomb site basement is too hard to break for the attack inside.
It's relatively easy for both these teams when they have control of the bomb site. W7M need to stick as close to G2 for this first half as possible. Again, the win condition for W7M is win 4 rounds. G2 already taking 2, means there's no room for error whatsoever. They must be perfect for the remainder of this half. They've won Laundry Supply. That's exactly what you need to do. They lost it the first time. Bomb site won't be played again for this first half. Now they go back to dorms. This is 56% of all rounds won by the defense. That's okay. I mean,
yeah,
you've already lost it once. Try again. W7M, fix those mistakes.
They got the Valkyrie this time. We haven't really seen what W7M can do with information on the board because Valkyries are banned or not played. It's Julio, of course, no surprises there. Has the impact grenades as well to deny any breach on that generator wall by hitting the fan below it. G2 with a pretty set structure so far. Same players and similar operators going into the same position. Step one is the same, but then the micro, the small details on how they execute, it varies a little bit. And that's what's gonna keep W7M unknown to the attack. Really early start, a very slow, early start. Nobody wanting to fight it out as of yet. Attic wall getting opened up by Alamau. He's all alone that side, but he has cameras downstairs and an attic to cover the front and the back. While the rest of G2, they hit up that master bedroom balcony.
Activating him.
Ooh, Benja looking for an opening. He sees one. Nade out to possibly take the barbed wire, but instead it'll go in, eaten by an ADS. Herds a responsive nitro cell. Pulled too early, doesn't connect. Impact hitting the light fixture down below will stop the X-Kairos from going off onto the master bedroom closet wall.
And now the mid round for G2, they could problem solve. Oh my god, the wall bang.
How does JV92 die? No. Now it's the flank from Volps back up. Down goes Doki. Alimau follows. W7M doing quite well, but Virtue, he's trying to keep his team in this round.
Yeah. Benja on the wide stairs. He has to be the hero maker for his team.
And there it is. Catches KZ. A hop in from Benja up towards the top. Volps overpowered. Julio can't do anything. A 4K from Virtue. The Thunder down under gives G2 the round.
To think that that all started with a random one-tap through the wall to Kid's bunks, getting that kill, opening things up for the team, jumps in attic window, finds another. James on the desk, he listed why he wants G2 to win. He mentioned Benja, he mentioned Fabian. I don't remember him mentioning the first Australian in the grand finals, let alone to win a major, the Six Invitationals trophy, the biggest of them all. Virtue's form this event, arguably in peak form ever since joining G2. Picked up from Fnatic, on the Ash, lethal as ever. Had a very slow start in Europe, not finding success with any of the various rosters G2 has had in the last 2 years. But at the Six Invitationals 2023, right off the gates. During groups, during playoffs, Virtue finding himself 8-3, time and time again. Playing flexible operators, playing entry, clutching rounds. It is the right time to show up. The final round for the first half. Another tertiary bomb site for W7M because upstairs just does not work for them.
This first half for G2 could be 4-2. That's the opposite of what you want for W7M. That's the opposite of what you want for a defender. And G2 is going to bring out the Osa, and they're going to bring out the Glass. This can be fantastically entertaining Siege.
Yeah, I love operator lineups like these, the Glass, the Osa. Alamount Dokkaebi doesn't have smokes, has brought out those flashbangs instead for ADS cleared because Virtue and the Thermite brought them instead.
Is the first logic bomb as well. JV very close to the fight by the main door.
Benja on the Glass, by the way, not Alamau this time. So Benja can do the entry duties. Blurs the Osa players, so Virtue goes on that flex run to the Thermite instead. G2 changing things up, showing how versatile they can be as a team.
There's another logic bomb to go off as well. G2 using both of those annoying gadgets. Only Blur's the one that's taken some damage so far on his squad. W7M waiting, going to another bomb site, of course. Haven't seen this one in play before. That's an exothermic charge from above that opens up a small portion of the wall. KZ will see the Osa. Oh. How on earth? Excuse me?
Nah.
That's not normal.
You can't fight back on that one. That's a smoke bang and a half.
Oh my goodness, KZ trying to keep his team in it, trying to will them back into this fight. There's another exothermic charge from Virtue. Doing more than just utility work. At the current moment, leading the team with 8 kills, and most of them have been high impact.
Talon shield is up.
Double Talon Shield to get the diffuser down, but Blur is so low on HP. The impact from KZ works out just fine. G2's first kill on the board as Ali now creeps up. He gives his position away. Continuing down towards security. That DMR hits like a truck. Looking for more, and he gets it.
What?
G2 is wiping the floor with them. Julio in a 1v3, diffuser in the hands of Doki, but they bail out of this place. Julio scared off from Kitchen. There goes the Nitro Cell. It connects, but Doki gets it down, and now G2's in a post plant. Chipping away at Julio's HP. He's got some marks. He's under the skin of G2. They want to get him out of there. Playing around the bomb chassis. Target acquired. Kill secured. First half for G2, 4-2.
Someone needs to help Casey. He can't do it all. The nasty shot through the smoke, the impact when he kills a Blur, taking down the Osa. He kills the Glass and the Osa, two most important operators in the entire round for G2. And then Anima just walks in the back, finds 3 kills. Someone help this man.
Timeout taken from W7M, and they do it before this second half. Why? Because I suspect they know how dire it is to be on the wrong side of this map. And now it starts to set in as you see those long looks on the faces of the players of W7M.
Yeah. When you're in this position, I've been here. 2018, you're down bad, we're down 0-2 against EG. Motivation, sometimes it slips away from you, and it has to come from someone else. When I was in that position, it was Fabian, as my in-game leader, as my captain, bringing me that motivation. The number one thing the coach of W7M can do, and Julio, the rest of the members, is to motivate each other that they can still win, that they are still in this match. Being down 2-4 in series point is not a great place to be, but it is now where you have to show up and fight it back. It is not over yet. They go on the attack. They now have control, W7M. If they execute correctly like they did on Clubhouse, they can easily find rounds, tie things back up. But if they lose this first round, that lead builds for G2, those long faces will get even longer, and that's when I start fearing for the Brazilian team.
You're taking your time out. Again, the conversion for this squad. It did not work in the last 2 maps, but they took it when they didn't have any wiggle room whatsoever.
Yeah, very late.
This time, at least they've got breathing room. G2 want to knock the air out of their lungs. Spawn peaks set up from multiple members, but W7M are quick to get into the building. And hey, it works on the Benjamaster, and it works on Doki as well. This is the confidence that they need. They need to find their footing. Bring that same level of aggression that G2 has been bringing. You bring it right to their doorstep.
He drops.
Herds is just... What is going on right now from Herds? Unheard of. 4 kills, 3 kills, all 5 kills. It doesn't matter. Good Lord.
I asked somebody to help out Casey. Well, Hertz, he must have heard that call because he was right there on the opening round, really swinging things back. That is exactly the W7M that we have known in the majority of this tournament. They have not looked like that in many of the maps so far in the grand finals, but this is the exact kind of dominance we saw time and time again earlier on.
Wow, wow, wow. If it wasn't for that first pick from KZ, Herd's could have very easily aced, but instead he'll have to settle for 4. I don't really think that's too terrible of a consolation prize, especially since it gets you 1 round closer to a tie. Both of these teams quite good on Oregon. G2 obviously thinking that they have the edge by picking the map.
Yeah, and same with the bomb side. I mean, we often speak about this, Parker, where if you go somewhere on the bomb side and you lose and you go back, it's because something didn't go your way. A small thing that can be fixed. If you have Hertz walking, just storming through the building, getting 4 kills, I think it's safe to say you'll go back to the same bomb site, because that's not supposed to happen, and surely it won't happen again. But anything is possible. First line scan comes out, expecting G2 to play aggressive and peek off those windows and doorways. They are aggressive on the roam. The bomb side relatively weak, just Alam out down there, but G2 they have this versatile setup. Meeting hatch is open, Doki inside a meeting can hold that blue position. W7M, they're gonna contest the roam from the west side of small tower, where they'll find Benji and those Capcan traps.
Allow Herds to rush in yet again. So close to this bomb site. Does he know something this time? He might have just been... How?
No.
Herds is in again! Another round in a row, but it's read by G2. A good gambit. It does not pay off, but you might as well take the opportunity if it's presented to you. Doki gets a little bit too brazen upstairs. Punished by JV, and now that advantage that came from Herds' death is gone for G2.
You know what that looks like? That looks like Clubhouse basement where G2 gets rushed the first time. They don't adapt, they get rushed the second. This time they bait that same roam, but immediately when it's too quiet, they all fall back to the bomb side and they punish W7M. But it's a 1-for-1 trade. Attackers now have the map in their control, and they find another to Benja.
Oh, it's a Capcan trap to get it done. Benja's been dropped, but he's recovered. Picked right back up. JV now on the assault. That's as nice of a flick as you're gonna find running out of munitions. Virtue to clutch. Again, impactful kills. There goes the nitro cell, but they bail off the diffuser. Marks inside a freezer, marks inside of the laundry room. Virtue has marks on that diffuser being planted. He sees the bullets go through. Can't get it done against KZ. W7M still very much in this. They've tied the game.
They're not just in this. They're looking so dominant in these 2 rounds on their attack, and that's the thing. When you are on the attacking side, it is up to you to win these rounds because you can problem solve any scenario. You can prep for most of them as well ahead of time, and if you execute correctly together as a team, you will find victory. G2 in a tough spot. They gotta choose the bomb side, and it is crazy to think that the base and bomb side might be the worst one. Losing it 2 times out of 2, very, very rare. Secondary bomb side perhaps, that kid's bunk upstairs could be the next place to go. Something has to change, that's for sure. Disgusting shots from JV92. Everyone is just alive in the server now.
This is exactly what we wanted to see on this map. This is what we thought we were going to see on Cafe as it went back and forth and back and forth, and that yo-yo just went on and on and on, up, down, up, down. Oregon is showing us exactly why these 2 teams make it to the grand finals. You were correct. I mean, you said it yourself. I didn't think it was going to be a blowout, and it hasn't been, with the exception of maybe Bank. I think the 7-4 on Cafe is quite close. The fact that it was G2 doing it to W7M, though, that's a bit of a shocker.
Yeah, I'd agree with that statement. The Thatcher not being banned this time by G2 allows W7M to use it for their more structured lineups. They're still staying aggressive with the Doki, of course, take these 2 confrontations, and Doki looking for one.
Doki keeps putting himself in these positions. He baits out a team kill instead of getting it himself. Oh! And now Herds runs into a Capcan trap in Classroom. You can't teach that. Can they secure? Look at Blur.
Look at Virtue.
Oh, Benja spotted. Virtue wants this pick. He's gonna have to hurry. Wait for the sound, wait for the sound. There you go. He secures, can't get more than that. You know what? Take the 1 kill and get out of there. That's exactly what he does. Back to a 3v3. Doki got away. Not scot-free. Low on HP. Wounded for the remainder of the round. No way to get himself back up past where he's at.
What a first half of the round, and there's still 1 minute and 40 seconds to go. The Tigers are going to rotate to that big window. Not sure how many members are roaming downstairs, but the thing is, G2 got it locked and ready. Virtue downstairs with the Valkyrie, has the C4 in pocket, can eye any plant position on the bomb site itself. Doki on just 1 HP, not looking too good. Look at this, the fear of some aggressive run out from W7M, respecting G2 right now.
I like this.
I like this a lot.
They're paying respect to the team.
Gonna flashbang and jump on this big window. That's gotta be the plan.
I think you're correct, though. I think this W7M team that hasn't looked that scared, they kind of look a little scared. They jump in, but they haven't done their homework. They don't know that Virtue's down below with that nice long line of sight. He's still there, but there's a jump in. He misses it. The rappel actually works. Alimao down. They trade out. It's all up to Julio to clutch again. He hasn't been able to do it this time. Can he accomplish it? No, he can't. No, he can't. They brought him in for his experience, and Julio keeps getting put in unwinnable situations.
Yeah. One thing with Julio, though, is he's a smart player, rappelling in the big window to get past that verticality from Virtue. Jukes the C4 as well. Tries to go for the plan for a brief moment when kills might have been the better option. Doki getting that, well, quote-unquote, getting that team kill. Oh, you hate to see it. And he gets out alive as well. The Capitals, of course, doing so much damage. That's the thing, when you go too fast on attack, the Captain's value goes up because you're not going to check every single doorway. Scrappy fight. G2 are closing in. 5-4. Going downstairs to that basement bomb site once again. Third time's the charm, something like that. Adaptation from W7M. So far in attack a repick, changing 3 operators. The Monty, of course, being the star of the show. We saw Alimao himself take blue control with that operator's walking on in. Twitch to stab out ADS as a utility. Mirror being banned, so that's not going to be brought to the table by either team, of course, in this match.
How on earth?
No.
W7M didn't expect somebody to be peeking, and Alimao hits him with the question mark.
He didn't just peek, he ran out.
We love a little bit of BM, don't we, Nick?
We do. Oh boy.
That's how you get under their skin. And reminder, there's no timeout for W7M. It's not just about strategy. A lot of this game is played in your mind. Alimao loves to agitate. He loves to get under the skin of his opponents. He might have just done that.
Yeah, that's mental warfare at its finest. There is no reason to put a question mark in chat other than, I am so much better than you, or what are you doing? Both of which, of course, affects your opponent's mental. It's floors as well. It's...
Oh.
Wait, oh, okay.
That was the Monty. You thought that was outside, didn't you? No, no,
Yeah.
no, that's bottom of laundry stairs. But Volps will wander in. Third time in a row, by the way, that we have seen somebody from W7M just casually stroll into laundry like they own the place. Look at Alimao. Look at his glasses. Look at that goofiness.
Oh.
Not tilted one bit.
They missed the EMP. Second time's the charm. Yep. No, actually, they missed it. They can't get the meeting hatch opened up. They got no more EMPs.
That's devastating for W7M, and yet again, it could be something as simple as that.
Yeah.
That loses you the round. A misplay of utility when you have so little of it left.
Yeah, there's no backside pressure. It's all front side, so G2 can put majority of their weapons in the same direction.
Over towards Laundry and over towards Freezer for W7M. This is where the rubber has to meet the road on this execute. Nades going out, toxic canisters from Alimao, playing on that very comfortable smoke roll. But you have to ensure that the supporting cast around the Monty are reduced to nothing. That's 2 players over towards Freezer, a third above the hatch, and Julio all by his lonesome. ADS does its job. There he goes, Alimao taking the engagement. The Monty wins the fight. W7M have equalized. Julio to charge in. He can't win a duel at all. Now JV will wait for the smoke to clear. It's him and Volps. Oh. Down goes Volps. G2 can taste the championship. They just need a single kill to go to championship point. JV will taunt them out. But G2's not giving them an inch. Almost a job for him, but no. The solution gives G2 one more round, and that could be it.
The first time these 2 teams had squared off, there was 1 round between who were to win. Right now, there is just 1 round for G2 to take the hammer. It's not about who takes the map. It's not overtime final round. It is a 6-4 scoreline. Now, given that it's 6-4, these rounds have been incredibly close for the majority of them. The teamwork of G2, the early aggressions, getting the opening kill, really have been defining these last couple of rounds. The Captain, not again, the Thorn, these operators that can get kills in the weirdest of ways being brought out.
I like it though, I like these changes. You said G2 would need to adapt or die. And they have indeed adapted, and you know what? If W7M are gonna rush into the building every single round, you bring those castle barricades, you bring those razor blooms, you bring those EDDs, and you slow them down every single step of the way. You still need the rest of the utility, which is why you see the Jaeger, why you see the Kaid.
Yeah.
Like, you've got that wiggle room. Bring operators, those trap operators that were quite literally designed to slow down the attackers.
Risk assessment when everything's on the line. Those decisions that are normally rather easy to make can be very hard in these moments, and both teams, of course, have to make the right decision every step of the way.
There goes that first logic bomb. The weight that must be on the shoulders of these players. Look who's found his way upstairs yet again. A blind spot.
He's gonna wait. Wait for G2 to make the first move, but they know as well that they can just sit tight.
There's another logic bomb as well. So they can wait for that intel, and there it goes. They'll double up on them. They've got some marks, expecting somebody over towards Addict. Doki rips the nitro cell. There's the aggression from W7M we need. It doesn't come without a cost, though. Benja doing his best, drops Volps. It's confirmed by Doki. JV still above. Doki fighting back. This is perfect from W7M, but hold on a second. Virtue to clutch out in a 3v1. W7M, their whole season, their whole year on the line. Virtue trying his damnedest, but KZ's better in that duel. W7M will not go quietly into that good night.
It looks so winnable. And I saw this on Reddit. A lot of pro players talk about it. Virtue's reaction time, probably the fastest player in all of Rainbow Six Siege that I have witnessed myself. When I was on that G2 roster, we would sometimes have fun, do some tests, you know, see who's the better player. Virtue, despite being 21 years old, has not slowed down one bit. W7M, they took a breather. They established that, okay, we need more than just Hertz to make this play happen. Rotate 2 more members, toss out that flashbang, push on in, get that opening kill, avoid the Razor Bloom from the Thorn. The answers were there from G2, they trade back, but still, W7M, they kept their numbers advantage. And that got them the round.
In the biggest game that he's ever been in, Virtue is shutting everybody up. That question, that pickup from G2. He has survived multiple iterations on this roster as players have been moved in and out, coaches have been moved in and out, but the one consistency has been Virtue, and if he could ever have a career game, it's right now, leading the team.
14 kills. Playing to that big tower. W7M very vocal right now, both during the prep phase and the active phase as well. They have something in their minds, very specifically on these attacks. They seem to have a very direct approach so far in these rounds, and G2 starting to play more around utility. Deployable shields, the Wamai discs, a Rooney to keep people safe, playing around verticality, the soft floor to the bomb site, of course C-Force below. Discovery phase in action. W7M trying to get an idea of what does the map actually look like? Where are these defenders playing at? But the jammers, they're gonna stop 2 drones on the Armory stairs. They're not gonna get that information.
I predict a really slow round here, Nick. Yeah. Both of these teams are not gonna want to give an inch. They don't want to make the smallest mistake that becomes an even bigger problem.
But that's the thing, right? You have to take risks. You have to be the one to act. Inaction from the attacking team means loss by default. You have to do something. G2 as the defenders, they can kind of sit back and let them make all the first moves.
On rappel, waiting for the next step. So speculation from W7M then. G2 might be holding that back tower. It was correct with Virtue at the beginning. There's a nade from Herds. It goes on to White Stairs. G2 still have 2 bodies on that first floor. It might not be information that W7 has.
But they're acting downstairs. Herds in case he might look for something like Julia distracts above. Volps with this Amaru could just fly on in. They're gonna try and take downstairs as step number 1. Or perhaps
Herds could just rush into the bomb site. It would compel G2, who have a player downstairs in security, to get back to that bomb site. And look at the patience from Blur. Buy as much time as possible.
Volps is gonna fly in that Kid Storm's window when the time is right.
Benja will be in trouble. This is a big gamble. A big, big gamble from W7M.
Risk it all.
Why not? For G2, you have to be prepared for this. Blur still down below. W7M have not moved one bit. JV will join Volps. There's the Capkin trap. Herds, how did you not see that? Volps is in. G2 winning these engagements. They're just a couple kills away. JV creeping up. Duels Virtue. They've put it back to a 3v3. Julio with diffuser in hand. He knows that door frame is clear. That's where Herds died from, but he doesn't expect the cross, and now that's diffuser surrendered. It's KZ's turn to walk in. Down goes Doki. What a mess inside of the bomb site. He's got 10 seconds left. KZ will need to go for the defuse. Air jab goes from Benja down below. Blur retaking from above, sees the Lion, a lot of damage, but this is an easy lockout for W7M. Nitro Cell does not connect. Diffuser goes down. It's KZ and Benja in a 1v1. The 2 best players for these 2 teams. For the hammer. Benja can't get it done. Overtime.
That's what I want to see. Overtime on the 4th map. Benja KC 1v1 standoff. Both trying to figure out where exactly the opponent is going to be playing at. But it's KC playing the sacrifice game, allowing Benja that kill confirm on the down to then swing wide and confirm his own kill to take the round for his team. The Capcom traps almost sealed the deal. It almost brought you to the hammer. Volp's shotgun injury is disgusting. Now this is infinite overtime. So essentially you gotta win 2 rounds.
Win by 2, that is your win condition.
We'll keep going till someone does it. This could take a while, it could take 2 rounds, but what I do know, it's gonna get messy in the best of ways.
Oh, it's gonna get real messy. G2 will start on defense of the beginning of unlimited overtime. How unlimited? We'll find out.
5 seconds remaining.
Now,
Oh, if only Coastline was still in the...
no.
Oh, if it was.
No. I would say some of the most historical maps, in my opinion, maps like Coastline, Bank, Oregon, where you've seen a lot of incredible finals, big moments between teams and regions fighting it out on these maps. Oregon going to this, oh, the C4 below.
And it works! JV is down for the count, will need to be retrieved as he bleeds out upstairs. Volps to the rescue. But still a body that's up, you still have the EMPs. Saw how much difficulty this W7M team had on those pocket EMPs, getting open the hatch inside a meeting.
Yeah.
Now you've got Big Daddy EMP on the board. Should be a lot easier.
Well, it certainly should, but I mean, he almost got taken down earlier in the round, and you still got Goyo Fire, Toxic Babes, another C4 and Pocket of Virtue. I mean, if you're low on health, it's so easy to die in this round for JV. He's got to take a backseat. The issue is for W7M, he's their top fragger with 13 kills. You want JV in the front lines, not the back.
We talked about Virtue. This is also a historic game from JV. We've spent so much of this matchup focusing on KZ and talking about Herds. And KZ's shown up, but Herds has had some serious struggles as JV is warmed up in this matchup. That gap has continued to close. Playing on not necessarily your main fragger, but instead on that same support role that we can see players pop off with. It's the same role that Virtue's largely been playing as well. There's the EMP onto the claw. This one is successful. Another EMP goes out. Herds taken down by Doki, littering the way down. How does Doki accomplish that?
Team kill.
A team kill. Oh no! W7M falling apart in a crucial round. G2 just need to stop KZ and they move back to championship point. Inside of Freezer, looking to give W7M that cold shoulder. Fire burning in front of him. He's got 45 seconds to go. Now, I'm not saying you do this in a championship game, but you could easily let your team talk through this. Nice shot by KZ on the Virtue. Smoke swings on him in the corner. There's a crossfire. KZ reduced and gone. G2 back on championship point.
These rounds, JV so low on health, the hot drop on the X-Kairos, well, it finished him. Because he was already injured earlier in the round, you die. There's no second injury unless you get into a frost mat. No Fink on the board either, so no boost can be had for that health bar. Doki, nice double kill on the backside.
It was all a single take. That linear push through blue.
Yeah.
And you met an immovable object. G2 back in a familiar spot. They were not able to capitalize on rounds 11 and 12 when they sat on championship point. They have to win by 2.
Attacker repick. Decision-making time. We've seen Monty. This will be the 4th Monty round. 1 from W7M and 3 for G2. It's of course Alama on that operator. Benjamaster recognizing the basement is more utility-oriented. Gonna go off the nuke onto the floors instead. Of course, Virtue bring that Maverick as a contingency plan in case that kite is being brought out, which is not the case for W7M. The hatches will be easy to open up for Blur and the Hibana. No Maverick needed.
G2 favoring attack so much, as did W7M. Both teams winning 4 of their attacking rounds. G2 winning their very first defense on overtime is huge for them.
Yeah.
But OT is not always standard fare. Monty right next to Julio. He'll hear the shield, an operator that he's very familiar with. Julio playing a lot of Monty in his life. It's a downstairs hold. One nade goes in. The attempt to dislodge somebody from W7M, but there's nobody to accept it. W7M now vacating Attic.
Yeah.
2 separate players dropping into meeting.
It's just Alama on big tower, but they don't know this. When you see a Monty, you always think there's somebody behind him. So the coast is clear of big tower, could fall back.
Ooh.
Meanwhile, D2
They're
going down Freezer.
They're creeping down Freezer. Might they do exactly what happened to Herds? There's a cross that's there.
Oh.
Alimau is waiting. He wants to distract, and there's Virtue to come to the rescue. 2 separate players from G2 and Freezer, 2 over by tower. They spot one towards Pillar. JV in trouble. Benja, the very first pick. 2 follow very quickly. Nitro Cell goes out. KZ rushing in. G2 looking to accomplish this. 1 kill away, and it's Volps to die. A new generation pick up where legends left off. G2 again. World champions!
Look at Dogi's face. That's a face that says, I cannot believe it. Not only are we in the grand finals, we win the entire damn thing.
This might be the first time that Place Bell has cheered for this squad, notorious for being the villains. But there's one man in particular. He's broken the hearts of many regions. He'll lift the hammer again. Fabian plus G2. They're fucking inevitable, aren't they?
They are. As a player, twice. As a coach once. Setting records, breaking the meta game, and always setting the standard at the highest level of Rainbow Six Siege. That is how you describe Fabian.
Yet another hammer for the trophy collection that G2 has amassed over the years. What events have they lost? That's the question. 31 days on this roster for Benja. That's it, 31 days. 31 days and he's broken the record here at SI. 31 days and he's a world champion. He called himself the solution. Solution to what problem? The problem was let's win a hammer, and I guess the solution is correct. Wow.
Unbelievable, to be honest. Everyone showed up. Virtue, peak performance at the biggest event of the year, showing up. Every member, Doki, going from team killing with grenades to being the injured beast for the team. Fabian, one thing I spoke to him about, he said, I wanted to tell these players about how it was back in my day, implement those same ways to perceive the game in and out of the server, because that's how you find success as a roster. And it showed very clearly that it's true.
First, it was the streak against North America. Fans of Astralis thought we could do it, you couldn't. Fans of OXG thought you could do it, you couldn't. So his NA streak is still intact, so what does he do? He puts his SI Grand Final streak on the line against the most dominant team this year in Rainbow Six. And they couldn't do it either. It's really hard to put into words for somebody who talks for a living how incredible this run has been for the most storied team in this game's history. We don't have Rainbow Six Esports without G2. They've done it again.
To speak to the other side of W7M, they can be proud of how far they have come in this last calendar year.
Yeah, let's give W7M a round of applause, eh? That's it for us. You want to hear from the winners? You want to hear from your world champions, so we'll toss down to the stage to hear their very words.
Parker, Pengu, thank you very much. Before I ask any of these amazing men a question, let them know how you feel, Montreal. Doki, I'm going to start with you. We chatted yesterday. You almost couldn't believe the run that you and your team had been on. You made it to the grand final. I saw the way that you reacted when it was all said and done, the moment that you realized you just became world champions. Just talk us through every ounce of emotion that you're feeling right now. Take it.
Holy shit. We won SI, boys. We won SI. What? I don't know what to say. I actually have no idea what to say. I've dreamed of this moment for so long. Everyone here has played this game for 7 years, dedicated their full lives to this, just for the chance to be on the stage and compete against the best teams in the world. And today, I guess, we are the best team in the world. So let's go, man.
Fetcher, you've been part of this roster for time. You've seen them come, you've seen them go. You've finally done it.
It's been a long time, and a hard time as that. But everyone on this team, like, I'm so proud of them. Carl, honestly, one of the best IGLs in the world right now. And Benja's 19, and look at him. It's crazy. Like, Byron, support, amazing. I can trust this guy with everything. And Doki, of course, he's like a little pit bull entry in, no matter what. I'm just so proud of everyone, and Fabian and Titan. It's not much to say. They do their job, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy with the full team.
Kyle, you actually said yesterday, we were standing in front of this very crowd, and you said, the job's not done. Well, now it is.
Now it is. Job's done.
I want you to say it. Say job's done.
Job's done.
Fabian, can you just come here for a second? I've been really looking forward to talking to you because I know you've been very clear that you want it to be behind the scenes. You didn't want to be in the spotlight. You know, you've had your moment as a player. 2 invitationals that way. Now you've done what no one else in Siege has ever managed to do, and that is win your 3rd. This time as a coach, you've just made history.
I think the boys is all to praise. They have been grinding their asses off, and honestly, just being able to promote the team culture that I know from my past, coming back and saving basically my legacy, because this team, they were really bad just 6 months ago. I don't think I've seen them ever play worse. Here we are, hard work pays off, and they have really done all that I can ask of them.
It begs the question, what did you do?
I just structured them to do the job, honestly. They've been doing it all themselves. They had it in them, but they just needed some guidance along the way.
He's very modest, very humble, but please give it up for this history maker right here. Blair, I don't know if you remember, but we've worked together in the past in Yukin. From Yukin to Montreal, to the home of Siege, to a world championship. This must have felt like a roller coaster ride for you.
100%. I've always dreamed of this moment. I've been playing the game for 7 years, back on Xbox, made the switch over to PC. So, I don't know, this is just a crazy moment for me. I just want to lift it.
We're nearly there. I'll stop stalling you guys in just a moment. Shall I talk to Benja? We found out just a couple of days ago that this is a man of very few words. What would you like to say, Benja?
People said I was the best downgrade for G2, but I'm pretty sure I was the best upgrade they could get.
That is a fact. That is an absolute fact. Are you ready? I'm going to step out of the way. G2? Ladies and gentlemen, your Rainbow Six 2023 World
Give it up for your winners, G2! They've done it again! And I can't believe it, but they've gotten away with it. Running away with our trophy at the Invitational. Here we are to close out our day. Alemão, all the way from Brazil. But we have a prodigy from Oceania, from Australia, that wins it for the first time ever for the region for APAC.
Virtue, in a career that began 1,782 days ago in some little old pro league within ANZ, at the age of 28, he's the oldest player to raise a Six Invitational hammer, stealing Julia's record from him.